What's up guys? Today's video is on the best golf drivers for Mid Handicappers 2022. Through extensive research and testing, I've put together a list of options that'll meet the needs of different types of buyers. So whether it's price performance or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the product, like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. Number 6. TaylorMade M2 Driver. Now we're going to be looking at the new TaylorMade M2 Driver 2017 edition. Previous M2 drivers, as many of you will know, are really good products. It was one of the longest hitting drivers TaylorMade had ever produced, but it was also one of the most forgiving too. The new version, believe it or not, is actually slightly better. We might not have gained tons of distance in our testing, but we did see a substantial increase in stability though. So guys, if you're looking for even more forgiveness than what the previous version of the M2 gave you, then this driver is basically something that you need to look at getting in your bag. The club is still utilizing the multi-material construction with the titanium body and the carbon weave crown that obviously gives TaylorMade the ability to reduce weight, which they can then place lower down and further back so that it increases launch angle at the strike, as well as the stability of the driver. What's different on this version of the driver is that TaylorMade is utilizing a 7-layer weave, which makes it considerably lighter than the previous version, allowing them to save another 12 to 13 grams of weight. There is also a little loop at the back of this driver that I want to talk to you about. It is called geocaustic technology. This clever tech does a couple of things. It allows TaylorMade actually to push their head size over 460cc, but then also very smartly while indenting the sole a little bit, which actually brings the club back to within the legal limit. The M2 is light and effortless to swing with a great deal of force. The sound emitted from the club due to the geocaustic technology is quite impressive too. We think you'll like it. It's very commanding. Look at the size of this sweet spot. What does all of that mean? It gives TaylorMade the ability actually to make the sweet spot slightly bigger, which gives you, the golfer, the ability to get away miss hits, which is very lovely, especially when you're keen to move down from your mid-handicap level. If you have a look at the sole of the club, TaylorMade have implemented a speed pocket. You'll see this channel is quite deep in the back of the club head, and it allows the face a certain amount of flex, which increases your ball speeds. If you hit the ball off the heel or the toe area, this is when the speed pocket comes into play on a whole new level. Because of that, a little bit of face flex, it generates a lot of speed, which equates to the distance for you. Flight control technology is also included within the TaylorMade M2. This has become a staple of the TaylorMade brand. The club also features the new 2-degree loft sleeve, so the 10.5 degrees I've got in my hands can be taken up to 12.5 degrees or can be knocked down to an 8.5 degree. Again, this is all in half a degree increments to make your life pleasant and smooth. Our conclusion on the TaylorMade M2 driver. At the start of the review, I said to you that this driver is substantially more forgiving. I just want to summarize that as for you. It's for a few reasons. It's a combination of the 7-layer weave, which means TaylorMade have saved weight that they've redistributed low and deep in the drive ahead. They have centralized this weight deep back in the driver. Now you can imagine that with all the weight situated deep and centrally, if you hit the drive off the toe, driver doesn't want to wobble around. Basically, it encourages massive amounts of club head stability in the drive head. It's an extremely stable driver. Throw in the geocaustic to make the sweet spot slightly more significant, as well as the speed pocket, and you are looking at one of the most forgiving drivers on the market. For me, this drive is definitely aimed at you mid to high handicappers. But it needs to be said that some tour players put this little beauty in their bag because they are not looking for the workability in the brother club, the M1. They are looking for the forgiveness and high launch that only the M2 can give you. I personally love this club. Pros: the premium golf rangefinder is portable, offers adjustable lens focus and 6x magnification, includes battery in pouch, features pin seeker mode, which is perfect for golfers with shaky on unsteady hands. Measures in yards and meters. Cons: can take multiple tries to get proper reading. Frequently misreads by about 10 to 15 yards. Number 5. Wilson Triton DVD Driver. Wilson might not be the first brand you think of when you're looking to buy a new driver, but hold on right there. The Wilson Staff Triton DVD Driver is different. Honestly, it's different. We highly recommend that you read our informative, hands-on review below before you make your mind up that a Wilson Staff could never make it into your bag. Below you will find our hands-on range testing review of the Wilson Staff Triton DVD. Today we've been testing the new Wilson Staff Triton DVD driver. We were excited to get our hands on this driver and check it for many reasons. The first is that it's got a very cool backstory. For those of you that don't know, this driver design appeared in a driver versus driver competition on the Golf Channel in the US. On the Golf Channel show, aspiring golf equipment designers competed with their various designs to win a cash prize. But not only this, they also got their driver developed by Wilson. How amazing is that? Then they had their driver marketed and sold to the public. You may have already guessed, but the winner of that Golf Channel competition was the Triton DVD driver, which was designed by a guy called Eric Sillies. The panel that judged the competition included Kevin Streelman, who is a Wilson PGA Tour player, but also Frank Thomas, who was the US GDA director and developed a number of the testing procedures for golf clubs in today's game. There's a hell of a lot of equipment making and know-how pumped into this golf club's design. A driver that is jam-packed with cool features so good they will make your golf buddies weep on the tee box, because you keep on crushing them. I'd go as far as to say it's the most advanced driver Wilson have ever made. That's because of the host of adjustable features that we see on this club. We've got an adjustable loft in the hosel, so just by merely twisting and shifting the hosel up and down, we can change the loft by 1 degree. There's also some draw settings, but the critical feature, the main piece of technology, is this adjustable sole plate. Now it comes in 2 versions. I've got the carbon fiber version fitted first off, which is distinguished by the pattern that is on the plate. Then there's also a titanium sole plate, which weighs a little bit more at 2 grams. So switching between the 2 sole plates should change the launch and spin of your shots. Presumably, the titanium sole plate, which is heavier, should lower the spin and launch trajectory a little bit by moving the center of gravity further down in the club head. Now whichever sole plate you choose, they're held on by 3 adjustable weights. We've got 1 on the toe, and 1 in the back of the club head. The black ones are 2 grams, and the red one is 6 grams. You can change these around depending on the preference of shot shape that you want to achieve with your driver. The driver also comes with this adjustable pack, which is quite cool. You can put your sole plate in there, and it's got a wrench to adjust it very quickly. It's also got an additional 6-gram weight, so you can change the 2-gram for a 6-gram if you want a more pronounced shot shape. If you want a little bit more draw on your driver, you can put the 6-gram weight on in the heel instead of the 2-gram. Also, that's going to give you more of a draw bias on your shot shape. How's the Wilson Triton look in your bag, and will its hitting performance deliver on the hype? One other thing I want to talk to you about before we talk about the performance of this driver is how it looks when you address the ball. That's because you've got this powerful swing technology built into the club. It's called a 1-1 design. The 1-1 design is there to help you align the club face, but also improve your swing play a little bit. So it's designed to help you take the club away on a nice neutral path during your backswing. I wouldn't say it did that for me, but it helped align the club face. You've also got a black leading edge on a black face, so without the 1-1 technology it would be challenging to align the face to your intended target. So we talked about technology before, but we want to get down to the nitty-gritty and talk about the performance of this driver. So let's have a look at the performance of this driver. We've been testing the Triton on our GC2 launch monitor using premium golf balls. So let's have a look at the data to see exactly how it performed and the differences in performance I got between the 2-gram and the 6-gram sole plate. Okay, so we've got the launch monitor data here from the GC2. We tested Triton and driver with the tall extra stiff shaft, which isn't the shaft I would normally use with a Wilson driver. I've got the testing with 2 different sole plates at 10 degrees of loft for both. Our performance numbers are fascinating to look at, and you would think using the different weight sole plates you would get a difference in launch and spin and maybe even trajectory as well. However, honestly, the performance of this driver across the board was pretty much the same. The average carry was precisely the same at 270 yards, which is an excellent carry by the way for me hitting. It's definitely in the top half or top 5 of the drivers I've tested concerning the carry distance. Each of the 10 shots I hit had precisely the same ball speed at 150 miles an hour with just the same launch angle 14.5 degrees and pretty much the same spin rate between the 2 sole plates between 22.0 to 23.0. So there has indeed been absolutely nothing in it. Both sole plates have shown precisely the same peak height as well at 39 yards. So to be honest with you, I don't know what to say about the difference between the 2 sole plates. They have been pretty much the same, which in a way is nice because we've seen consistent shot hitting. What I would say is that with both the sole plates the overall performance was outstanding. There was a nice healthy high launch angle at 14.5 degrees, and combining that with the kind of mid to low spin and great carry at 270 yards average over 10 shots with a nice mid to high ball flight, you can't be anything but happy with that performance overall. Would we recommend this club to our golf buddies? Well, to be honest with you, no. We want to keep this as our little secret, right? The performance of the Triton was excellent. The only thing I would say is that I didn't get a significant performance difference regarding the spin or launch angle between the two sole plates. If you want to change the ball flight, you can do using the 6-gram weight instead of a 2-gram weight, but I didn't feel the need to do that. When I looked at the dispersion average, it was less than 5 yards offline for both. So, honestly, it was hard to understand how the performance was remarkably similar between the two sole plates. However, in summary, I don't want to take anything away from the stunning performance we got out of this club. Ultimately, it's a unique-looking driver at address, and there's so much to admire about the way it sits next to the ball. You've got so many options concerning alignment assistance on the top of the head, so you can see, from what we've seen, the driver is something different for the market. The 1-1 technology helps you align the club face, and it includes an excellent visual aid for you to help you align the swing of the club to maximize the impact at the ball. The Wilson Triton DVD driver feels powerful and banging off the face at the strike. It's one of the best feeling Wilson drivers we've ever tested, and we've hit a lot of Wilson drivers. In conclusion, this Wilson Triton DVD is the best Wilson driver we've hit. It's the top of the list regarding Wilson drivers available on the market in our view. So if you're looking for a driver that's going to give you excellent, all-around performance, there's no doubt that the Triton is going to deliver that for you. Moreover, for the very reasonable price, there's an element of value there. If you go and get custom fitted for this driver, you may experience a vast separation in spin and launch and different performances from the different sole plates. Just because we didn't experience a vast difference between the two sole plates doesn't mean that you won't. Clearly, ball strike plays an integral part in this equation as well, so that's another element to consider. However, all in all, the Triton driver is one of Wilson's best performing drivers ever made. It's going to appear on the course with a broad spectrum of players and abilities because the flexible options available to you make the Wilson Triton driver an excellent all-around package. As I've mentioned before, the value that you get from a driver that's packed with game-enhancing technology and is so versatile in its customization, you've got to consider putting it in your bag. The Wilson Triton driver is our favorite Wilson drive. The technology packed into this driver is astonishing. From the sole plate weightings to the 1-1 alignment, everywhere you look around this club there is a player performance aid waiting for you to help you knock your next drive out of the park. We know you'll step up to the tee box with confidence holding the Wilson Triton DVD driver in your hand. You'll have your golf buddies quacking in their boots. It looks great. It's great value, and most importantly, the Wilson Triton DVD delivers on performance consistently. Every single shot. Go get yours today. We're confident you won't regret it. Pros: the Wilson staff team have taken a giant leap forward with the innovation packed into the Triton DVD driver. Easy customization options available to you via the sole plat adjustments mean you don't need to head into your club shop every time you want to tweak your club's settings. Such a consistent driver. Anyone looking to improve on their drive accuracy and distance consistency should look no further than the Wilson Triton DVD. Cons: during our testing we didn't find that the weight adjustable sole plates made a huge difference to our shot performance. But don't take our word for it. Try it out yourself first. Every player is different. Number 4. Callaway Big Bertha Fusion Driver. Now we're going to be taking a look at the 460cc Callaway Big Bertha Fusion Driver. I've got two drivers to test today, both Callaway Fusion. One has 45.5 inches long shaft fitted while the other driver has a 44.5 inches long shaft fitted. I'm predicting that 44.5 inches shaft will be the most popular because it is looking to cater for the mid to high handicapper market. The shafts fitted into the Callaway Big Bertha driver are recoil biased. I'm looking forward to seeing how they feel. I'm going to be starting off with the slightly shorter shaft Big Bertha as we're looking at the drivers which would best help you mid handicappers out there. With regards to technology, Callaway is saying that this is the most forgiving driver on the market, but also the most forgiving they have ever made. In addition to this, the is available in the 9.5 degree and the 10.5 degree, but also in the extremely lofty 13.5 degree heads. The adjustability of the hosel gives you great flexibility with this club. You can set it for 1 or 2 degrees down and with both a neutral and a draw angle. Well, the reason for this is that Callaway have redistributed the center of gravity more towards the heel. That means that if you are a slicer of the golf ball, this driver could be for you. Because if you hit that sort of heel shot, it's just going to help your ball go straighter rather than pulling out a big slice all the time, wrecking your scorecard. So let's have a go with this Callaway Big Bertha. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be honest, it's feeling very nice off the face. I hit that one bang out of the middle. They've done this by creating what's called an exo cage for the body, and adding further structure to it by using an incredibly light triaxial crown and sole, allowing Callaway to not only save weight, but also move weight elsewhere. To help you, the golfer. Incidentally, Callaway have saved around 35 grams on this model when compared to the previous version of the Big Bertha. As a result of the low weight, importantly, the superior position of the weight that should allow me to increase my club head speed through the ball, which will hopefully gain me a few yards in distance. Okay, so that it was slightly out of the heel for me there. But thankfully for me, it's gone dead straight with maybe 2 to 3 yards of fade. If I was to hit that kind of shot out of the heel with my regular driver, that would have faded more like 10 yards. That's the difference and forgiveness this club gives you. I'm honestly quite impressed. Okay, so now I've hit a couple of shots with both shaft lengths. I'm personally a little more comfortable with the 44.5 inches shorter shaft. Trajectory, distance, dispersion, they all just look and feel better with the 44.5 inches for me. As we always say, everyone is different, so the 45.5 could be the club which suits you better. It's funny because Callaway actually released some numbers based on testing with this driver and found that 30% of hitters were longer with the shorter shaft fitted. I'm not the only one then. They've done this by creating what's called an exo cage for the body and adding further structure to it by using an incredibly light triaxial crown and sole, allowing Callaway to not only save weight, but also move weight elsewhere. To help you, the golfer. Incidentally, Callaway have saved around 35 grams on this model when compared to the previous version of the Big Bertha. As a result of the low weight, importantly, the superior position of the weight that should allow me to increase my club head speed through the ball, which will hopefully gain me a few yards in distance. Okay, so that it was slightly out of the heel for me there. But thankfully for me, it's gone dead straight with maybe 2 to 3 yards of fade. If I was to hit that kind of shot out of the heel with my regular driver, that would have faded more like 10 yards. That's the difference and forgiveness this club gives you. I'm honestly quite impressed. Okay, so now I've hit a couple of shots with both shaft lengths. I'm personally a little more comfortable with the 44.5 inches shorter shaft. Trajectory, distance, dispersion, they all just look and feel better with the 44.5 inches for me. As we always say, everyone is different, so the 45.5 could be the club which suits you better. It's funny because Callaway actually released some numbers based on testing with this driver and found that 30% of hitters were longer with the shorter shaft fitted. I'm not the only one then. As we know, and I've mentioned, there are two different drivers, and as I've said, you are the short shaft version. The short shafted club has just launched off the face for me. I'm averaging 260 yards carry, rolling out to somewhere closer to 269 yards uphill. Club head speed for me over my hits with the short shaft has been hovering around the 112 miles per hour region, which is pretty good for me, while spin rates have been a little higher. Maybe an extra stiff shaft would get me a little less spin in the air. In conclusion, we think the Callaway Big Bertha Fusion is a great club for any mid-handicapper looking to add a new driver to their bag. It's a great model. The Callaway Big Bertha Fusion is a little bit more pricey than the Callaway XR16. But, in all honesty, for that you get a slice of the cutting-edge materials and a very eye-catching head shape along with innovative aerodynamic technology. At the end of it all, if it enables you to get the ball on the smooth grass of the fairways more often, then I'm sure you agree that the Callaway Big Bertha Fusion will be a sound investment for you to make in your golf game. Pros: the iconic Callaway brand is known for designing premium end clubs. The Big Bertha Fusion is designed to give your shots the most forgiveness possible. It's a striking-looking club with a very modern design. It sounds like you have a megaphone fixed to the end of this driver when you hit it. It's loud. Cons: the look of the club head is very modern. For some it may be a little too modern. Number 3. First off, for all of you Mizuno fans, you will love the traditional blue. The club has got this Mizuno color everywhere. What I really like is the top at the top of the crown where it's joined to the face. The crown seems to be set back a little bit, and there's this black line that goes across the length of the head. And what this actually does is change how the angle of the head looks when you address the ball. We've got the club set at 7.5 degrees, but as a result of the black line, the face seems more open and gives you more confidence over the ball. Okay, next up I want to talk to you about the technology in the club. There's a lot of technology in the ST180. The Mizuno ST180 has a standard 460cc driver head which is manufactured out of titanium. And we've been told there is something called the waffle crown on the inside of the head to save weight. Approximately 5 grams of weight to be exact. This weight can then be moved to the sole to help improve the club's center of gravity. It's very sneaky of Mizuno because this waffle technology is hidden from view as it's under the top surface of the head. The amplified shockwave sole contracts, expands for elevated ball speed, while pushing weight forward for vastly reduced spin rates. When it comes to this Mizuno club, it also has the amplified wave technology as standard. This basically means, as stated by Mizuno themselves, we couldn't have put this better ourselves. It basically means the club is designed to spin the ball at a lower rate. It's crazy low spin. On top of all of this, the SP700 titanium face allows for a precise multi-thickness face for accelerated ball speeds. Just what we like to hear. The driver also has a quick switch hosel which allows you to adjust the loft of the driver. We've seen this before in the previous drivers, and it's a pretty standard feature now in all clubs from the top brands. The club adjusts upright. All you need to do is unscrew the head. It's straightforward to make the adjustments you need. You don't need to think, damn, I've purchased a 10.5 degree head, and I should have gone for a 9.5. It's all built into the ST180. All in all, the settings go from 8.5 to 10.5 degrees. There's loads of customization on the neck, and no customization on the head. The face of the driver also uses forged SP700 titanium that allows the variable thickness in the front to be more precisely manufactured to make it as fast as possible. Doing this at the top of the head also allows for better weight positions, improving the center of gravity location. It actually changes the face thickness across the whole driver, increasing the potential for higher ball speed. As you can see, the technology is all there to improve the confidence of the mid handicapper off the tee. I'm expecting pretty low spin numbers, so maybe under 3,000 revolutions per minute. I'm a big fan with the obtuse look at the head-on ball address, making you feel so confident at the ball. I've just hit that long and straight over 300 yards. It gives you so much confidence. Wow, I love how this club feels. This club is just effortless. Honestly, it's effortless. And the only thing I may be concerned about is I've seen this before, maybe a little bit before, where toe and heel strikes were leaving you in big trouble. So yeah, like say it's not probably as quick as some. When you hit this baby out of the middle, it just feels lovely. Honestly speaking, we've got something to tell you. The testing we did with the Mizuno ST180 was with a guy who has a very forceful swing. This club is probably best suited for those players out there that hit the ball plain hard. It's fundamentally designed to reduce the ball spin so those type of players can keep their shots on line. We've said this before and we'll say it again. When you hit this club out of the middle, it feels amazing. For all you hard-hitting, fast-swinging mid-handicappers out there, this driver may be the answer to all of your ball spin reduction prayers. It's the lowest spin driver we have ever tested. Pros: insanely low spin speed allows for great control for those mid-handicappers with massive swing speed and power. We've given it a 3-star for control and performance, which is for the average player. For the right player with the attributes above in point 1, we give it a 5-star. Nice look and feel. Feels fantastic when you catch it out of the middle of the club head. There's tons of customization on the neck, and zero customization on the head. Cons: may not suit players with slower swing speed and power generation, as they will miss out on help from this Mizuno. Number 2. Ping G400 Max driver. This club is going to blow you away with its incredible performance, especially if you're a mid-handicapper who struggles with any part of your driving game. Take a look at our in-depth review of the Ping G400 Max. Yes, we think this club is insanely good. The Ping G400 Max driver is hugely popular for Ping. But why? I must admit, on a test that I did with the G400 range, this driver really impressed with not only its overall performance, but just the ease in which the club gives you the player forgiveness. Ping has said that with the G400 Max that this club has even more forgiveness again with its new 460cc head. I can't wait to get stuck into this club. The G400 Max is very similar in every way, shape and form to the G400 regular driver. To be honest, it's hard to notice the difference. However, this is a large footprint concerning the head. It's 460cc, and the Dragonfly technology has been extended even further back. This club is all about moi. This is based on the stats released by Ping, the most forgiving driver on the marketplace today, and that's what this is all about, especially for your mid to high handicappers out there. It's about forgiveness. The club is creeping into the territory of the moi found in the square-headed drivers. Let's not beat around the bush here. It's not all about forgiveness. Ping assure us it's a performance golf club too. There's a forged face on these drivers, and we absolutely love the sound of the ball flying off the face. That's enough about the specs, let's start hitting some golf balls. Okay, so before we get stuck into hitting the balls, I have a quick talk about the aesthetics of the club, which for me it's always a very much a personal thing. First off, the 460 head doesn't look that much bigger than the old head on the regular G400. It's not noticeably different to look at. It is slightly more elongated, but perhaps again, That is just a little bit more of a confidence-inspiring feature. There is also an easy-to-use adjustable hosel on this club, as we've found on most of the drivers we are reviewing. The one noticeable difference that I have seen is the color of the face. It was a darkened finish on the G400, whereas there is a lighter chrome finish on the G400 Max. It really sets the face up behind the ball, and you honestly see a lot more of the club face, which I like. Once again, that is probably to add that little bit more confidence to you, the user. For this review, I'm using the Alta CB shaft with the stiff flex. The Alta CB shafts were fantastic on the ping range last year. I've got my driver set at 9 degrees worth of loft. Right, okay. So we've 10 balls with the G400 Max driver, and let's start off with something exciting. When this club was announced by Ping, they suggested that the club would give you super forgiveness, and perhaps, as a result, you could assume that the clubs, once again like the G400 irons, are more aligned with the improvement irons and game improvement drivers. I'll be honest, I think that whole thing has gone out the window concerning categorizing clubs, and nothing proves that point more than this Ping G400 driver. I had this preconceived idea that the G400 Max would be aimed at the best golf driver for high handicappers crowd. I think any type of golfer can see massive benefits from using a club like this one. This club is just so good. I want to put it in my bag right now. I'll give you my overall assessment of what I think personally of the G400 Max driver after I've given you a view on my performance with the club. The ball speed of the shots I have hit was an average of 148, which is a spin number I'm relatively happy with. Like I said, this club is super forgiving. It has a lot of weight at the back of the club, so maybe I was expecting to see that the spin number would go through the roof. But that didn't happen. I managed to keep an average of 23.0, but overall I think that's a really respectable number, and again I'm quite surprised. The carry distance was 230 yards on average, which was very consistent concerning my performance. Generally speaking, I struck the ball very well this morning, and I'm more than happy with those numbers. Just to give you an insight, my longest shot was 278, and my shortest ball was 269, which as you can see is a really tight and consistent range. Overall, that is performed across a small set of shots that I'm delighted with. But that's not the story here for me. The story for me when I look at the spread of the balls that are hit was that there was a nice grouping. The impressive thing that I want to report about this G400 Max is that ultimately I feel that there is so much forgiveness packed into this driver, it's unreal. Ping does say that it's the most forgiving driver they've produced, and I would back that up 100% with the balls I've hit today. Quite honestly, I've never hit the ball so consistently, compact and tight. I really do feel that there is so much forgiveness packed in this club. It's a fantastic performance. So without a doubt, this driver is an excellent all-around package. Finding fault with the G400 Max driver is tough. Honestly, I really want to pick a few holes in the club, but I can't. The Ping G400 Max performed amazingly well for me. This club is all about fantastic performance, enviable forgiveness, and incredibly tight dispersion. If you're looking a driver that prioritizes forgiveness, then the G400 Max is the Ping driver to go for. We just can't understand why the Ping guys didn't bring this club out in place of the standard G400. The G400 Max is so much more of a comprehensive performer. Pros: incredible forgiveness off the tee, like no other club we have tested. Even better than the TaylorMade M2. Great head design, look and feel over the ball. Such a tight dispersion on drives with little to no negative effect on distance. Many improvements and tweaks included in the G400 Max compared to the standard G400. Making anyone who bought the standard club a little bit sad. Based on the stats released by Ping, this is the most forgiving driver on the marketplace today, and that's what this is all about. Massive amounts of moi to keep your ball straight. Cons: we're being deadly honest when we say we can't find any negatives with this club. Number 1. Titleist TS2 driver. We're going to review the new Titleist TS2 driver first off. It's a 460cc head title which has the Titleist standard branding. It's actually a little bit more of a modern design, a bit more streamlined, which is going to help produce more club head speed. This will be a great asset to any player trying to decrease their handicap from the 10+ area. So let's crack on. The first shot was a beauty. There's a little bit of wind off the right, but the strike was great. The flights may be a little bit low, but the club felt great. The TS2 will give you speed and forgiveness straight off the first tee. And this is what it's done for me here. As you line up the club head against the ball, you can see the distinctive Titleist understated, unassuming but classy look. The second shot was right on the money too. If I can hit another ball like that, I'll be happy. Over the last 2 years, Titleist has deconstructed the driver's head and built the TS2. So every part of the club is designed to create speed. Honestly, for a Titleist, it does actually feel quite hot. The new thin titanium crown actually helps with forgiveness because the center of gravity can be taken further back and deeper, plus the face has a variable thickness which helps to create faster ball speeds, even from miss-hits, which we always welcome. How does the TS2 perform with the different shaft options available? The TS2 is designed to create a higher launch angle and a low spin. The club we are using is actually set at 9.5 degree and standard on the loft sleeve. Now you can this driver in the 8.5, 9.5, 10.5 and 11.5 degree lofts in right and left-handed configuration. The shaft we've been using is the standard length at 45.5 inches long, and the shaft I actually really enjoy is the HTRD US Smoke Black 70. Titleist have selected 4 shafts in total to use as preferred shafts for the TS2. We're going to swap the heads over and just see how the other shafts perform. Now I'm going to try the Kuro Cage Black DC55. Now this is designed to be ultra lightweight, which helps to launch a ball high with a moderate spin. And it's actually got the straight flight weight system as well in the shaft. This actually helps to reduce the fade of the ball. The Titleist TS2 has a titanium crown, which means the boom you get off the tee box is quite impressive. So let's give the TS2 a try. Okay, yeah, that was a good strike. And it did seem to launch a bit higher than the prior configuration. All the shafts are actually fitted with the SureFit hosel, which gives you 16 loft and lies combinations. So now I'm going to try the next shaft, which is the 10Z Blue shaft. The 10Z Blue shaft is also a lightweight shaft, but it actually produces more of a mid-launch and mid-spin shot. The 10Z Blue shaft has also got the straight flight weight system fitted as well. What is the straight flight weight system? Basically, there are some tungsten plates in the lower end of the grip, and this actually helps a golfer to turn the club over. Let's take a shot with the 10Z Blue shaft and see how this one goes. I'll be honest with you, that was a bad hit. Feel-wise, the shaft weighs in at around 55 to 62 grams, and I'd say it's a shaft for more of the 8 to 15 handicap range. Now I'm going to have a hit with the Even Flow from Project X. So the new Project X Even Flow is designed to produce a lower launch and a low spin hot. The shaft is made of solid fibers which help to create a stiff tip and bend point, and it weighs in from anywhere around 65 to 85 grams. So let's give this one a go. I think this is gonna be my last shot. Wow, this is definitely for the player who wants a stable shaft and good flight control. During the review, I was using the HTRD US Smoke Black 70, which is designed to create a low to mid launch and spin. And that shaft also has a higher bend point, which helps to produce a more suited swing weight along the clubs. And actually, that is what the SureFit weight and tool on the back of the driver's head are there to do too. So fundamentally, you can change the shaft length to suit you. And if you shorten the shaft, you need the heavier swing weight. And if you lengthen the shaft, you need a light to swing weight. Looking through all of our shot data, the smash is similar for most of the shots, but what stands out for me most is the club speed is on the high side, and the launch angle is consistent. I'm happy with the club speed and the launch angle. It's clear that this club gives you excellent ball speed straight from the first tee box. I've always enjoyed Titleist drivers, and it's actually adorable to see Titleist trying to challenge Callaway and TaylorMade and produce a club with a consistently high club and ball speeds. So overall, it's a really impressive product, but to be honest, it's only catching up with the competition driver position. As always with a Titleist club, the build quality and feel are fantastic. This driver would be a welcome addition to the bag for any mid-handicap golfer. The club has done what it says on the ads by giving the user immediate speed enhancements. For any slower speed swingers, the TS2 will increase your swing speed and help you get a higher launch angle. Pros: classic Titleist look and feel over the ball and in the bag. The TS2 delivers on the promise to improve shot speed. Every part of the club has been designed with that objective in mind. Much improved custom fitting and setting selection with the SureFit hosel on the TS2 compared to the 917 driver. Cons: the sound of the driver is quite metallic at strike when you compare it to drivers made from composite materials. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. And if you have something to say, please leave a comment.